Okay, what's going on, everybody? How you doing? I'm a little late. I had company show up. My parents showed up with lunch at lunchtime. So, sorry for the delay. Brought me food, man. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. They were in the neighborhood, so they brought food. They brought food from the deli that, the deli that I like back up in the city. So I had, you got to do, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. But with that being said, I won't waste anybody's time. Let's jump in and play some KSP. I said we would be shaking down that lunar lander today. We got to finish up the legs on it and then maybe even get a test flight up in the air. Maybe we could do some contracts with it as well. So let's get the music going. What type of food? Sandwiches, man. Subs. Got a big old homemade meatball sub. It's pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. So, I've been basically working in the shop since 8 a.m. this morning. Yeah, the meatball sub was amazing. So, I've been working out in the shop since 8 a.m. The dog woke me up early, so I got an early start. I did get the quick car update. Like, I got the rear leaf spring perch out, and I cleaned it up and remocked it, and then I mocked up the entire back of the car. And if you notice, it actually looks like an automobile, right? So I am pleased to report that everything lines up. Everything lines up. All of it. Which is, yeah, that one leaf spring being not burned in exactly right because of our bracing that turned the frame rail was screwing everything up. Once I got those shims on the bottom that I was telling you guys about on the back bump, on the back cross member, and once I got the leaf spring out, I sat there with tungsten carbide burrs just grinding the plug weld out for a long time. I was able to remock it up, right? Remock the thing up, get it in the right position, and then I put the back of the car together, and everything is perfect, which is a huge relief. Now, everything is perfectly level, everything's perfectly plumb. The whole back of the car fit together like puzzle pieces. It was really nice. Yeah, really nice, actually. So, yeah, I mean, you could just tell, like, dude, everything is centered. There's nothing really crooked in there. Like, you could look at it from this picture. Everything is straight, and I'm really, really, really happy with it. I did a ton of work on the back tail panel too, cleaning and grinding and flattening edges to make sure that it's, fixed. We still have to fix some spots in the corner right there, on the corners of the car, like right where the quarter panel comes to the back tail lights. There's still some parts that we need to do. But other than that, man, that thing, we got it back together, and everything's mocked up, but everything clamped in. Everything's clamped in position. Everything is in the right spot. It is super nice, actually. Now we need a good welding stream. When everything is ready to be welded together, Rarest, that's when we'll do it. That's when I'll do the next episode of the stream. I suppose this still needs to wait until you get new quarters. I might be able to salvage some of the quarter. Maybe. Big maybe. Yeah. No, that's neat, JDG. Muffin, hey, 75-month resub. Thank you. I mean, Fluffy, I should probably buy the patch quarters sooner rather than later. That's gonna be a whole project in itself, dude. The patch quarters are they're gonna have to be for a 2-door. No one sells 4-door quarter panels for this car. So we're gonna have to buy a 2-door patch panel and then cut it up. That's the way she goes, man. That's just how it is. That shouldn't be that big of an issue. Considering it's basically the same thing. You know, the 2-door and the 4-door quarter panels are the same thing. It's just the 2-door quarter panel is just longer and it has no door, but it's the same exact stamping almost. And then once that's done, then yeah, what I'm really learning with the car, guys, is to not weld anything. Don't weld anything up, not yet. Mock up everything. Mock everything. Because you don't want to leave anything to chance. You don't want to burn something in like I did with the leaf spring perch and then have it be just like crooked. The door jamb is going to be a pain. We're not finding parts for that, Hellfish, right? Like, so yeah, I'm gonna have to make it. I'm gonna have to make it from scratch. But we have the press brake and stuff, dude. I should be able to do it. It's a Coronet, right? Yep. 69 Coronet. It's a crew cab. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to, it's like, you can look on the camera, I don't know how to describe it. It looks right. Like, that's how you know everything's straight, because nothing's like super crooked or anything. It is, that thing is like perfectly level. The trunk pan is level. The leaf spring purchase there, the one of, you know, the driver's side is clamped in position, but it's perfect. Are there any jank Coronets you can cut the door jambs out of? I'm sure I could find one, dude. Measure twice, squat once. That's right, Ethereal. Yep. That's right, dude. Yep. I mean, Hellfish, the problem is like that car is rusted. Like, my car is rusting in the same spot that every B-body rusts. So the rockers are toast and the floorboards are toast. And if there is any 4-door Coronets out there that are even remotely close to me, they're most likely rotted in the same area because I'm in the Northeast. So, dude, like, if I could find a half cut of the back of a Coronet 500 or Coronet sedan, 68, 69, or 70, like from the B pillar back, like a half cut, something that I could fit in the pickup bed of my truck, I'd absolutely do it. I'd go and get it. We'd go and get it with the 97. Yeah, that's, I mean, it'd be better if we had a trailer, but California pick and pull trip. Is that worth the time, you know? Yeah. But, it is what it is. You dove in head first. You got this. XJ, I'm much more confident in what I'm doing on the fabrication side of things with this car. I've learned a lot with, like, let's say attempt number 1 of putting the thing back together. Attempt number 2, I'm good, dude. I'm confident. Like, I'm confident that I could pretty much make anything else that needs to be fixed on the car. I can make it. We could do that. I have a brake. We have a press brake and a bender and a wheel. I can make whatever. We can make whatever we need. I ain't worried about that. You know, I have all the metalworking equipment to do it. We have a wheel, press brake, and a bender, and an angle grinder, and a hacksaw. We're good. I decided to see if there's something, and the first thing that popped up is the new auction of a 440 Coronet 67. 67 doesn't match. Not the right body style. 68, 69, and 70. You built a dang frame rail. Yeah, I'm good. I'm happy. There was always that 68 Super B and 70 Coronet chassis I sent you in Kentucky. It's $2,500, Storm, and I don't have any money to do it, man. It's funny because I'd go to that guy, Storm. I'd probably go to that guy and be like, "I need one of them," and he'd be like, "You can't have one of them." No, I want the sedan. What? I want the sedan. Also, I looked at that, Storm, a little bit more. That listing, VIN plate isn't on the fender. There's no way to verify that it's a real 383 4-speed car, dude. There's no way. It doesn't have the RPO code plate. Don't care. Not worth it. That's why it's $2,500. But yeah, 68, 69, 70, 4-door Coronets. If there's like a half cut of one, I'm in, you know? Yeah, so Storm, on those cars, on old Mopars, 68, 69, 70, B bodies, the RPO codes are on the left-hand side, and Chrysler used they're on the driver's side quarter panel on the inner, what would be the inner wing, but unibody, you know. It's a metal plate with a bunch of stamped numbers on it, and Chrysler used this very specific type of rivet, so people, I mean, if you drill it out and you take the plate, it'll basically, you'll know, right? It's a very, very, like, they used a one-off style of rivet so people wouldn't duplicate it or, like, steal a car, etc., etc. That's their 1960s version of anti-theft. Once you take the plate off the car, it's useless. Like, you can't prove it. Maybe with a build sheet, but neither of those cars have a build sheet. Let's be real. So, yeah, once that tag comes off, that's it. Mine doesn't have it. Mine doesn't have the tag. But then again, no one cares about a four-door Coronet except for me. But I have the title to it anyway, so I don't care. It's my car. We're not building this car for the resale value, you know? We're building it to build a cool car. Dude, it does look good, man. I'm really happy. I did so much freaking work on this thing. I did a lot. We did a lot of work, man. Anyway, let's play some KSP. What year is your car? It's a 1969. Are the rear door jams similar to the two-door door jams? No, not in the slightest, rarest. So like I said, if I need patch panels aren't bad. They're $230 a pop, the patch quarters. But the problem is they're quarters for a two-door. So we're gonna have to, I'm gonna buy them. I'll buy them soon. I've almost got enough money to keep going with this project. And when we do, yeah, we'll, I'll show you guys how to section a quarter. And then we're gonna have to cut up that brand new steel, which kind of sucks, but that's the way she goes, man. How does it work without a VIN plate? It's not a VIN plate, Couchy. It's the RPO code plate. My car has a VIN. The RPO, so the VIN is what you need to title the car, right? That's the proof of it actually being a car. The RPO code stuff is for resale value, especially with vintage Mopars. Now, if you have a title that's registered to the VIN of like a two-door car, and the guy claims that it's a really sought-after two-door Coronet, like say it's a Coronet RT, a 69 Coronet RT with a 383 Magnum, so that's a 383 with a 4-barrel carburetor and a 4-speed behind it. Without, like, you could title that. You could put whatever engine you want in that thing. As long as the VIN is registered to a title, you're good to go. But you can't prove that that car, if you don't have that VIN plate that I'm telling, or the RPO plate, you can't prove that it's a real 383 4-speed car. And with classic cars, what sells is the car in its original condition. So, like a 69 Coronet RT, 383 4-speed car with matching numbers is worth like 40, 50 G's. Seriously, the car's worth a ton of money. Did you get your buddy's Camaro done? Ernox Camaro? Yeah, it runs and drives, dude. I was driving around 2 weekends ago. RPO. Regular production option. It's a sequence of numbers that tells you what the car came with from the factory. The assembly lines use them. They would have used it on the assembly line and been like, oh, this is a bigger performance engine car. Oh no, this is an economy car. Let me put this engine in. Or oh, let me put the bigger engine in. Yeah, regular production option. I'm sorry, I forgot what RPO meant. I'd have to go look it up. Hey Wolfpack, 77-month resub. What's up, dude? Good afternoon. I downloaded a shuttle body and a modular tower to make a shuttle. It looks cool, but making the shuttle with parts and stuff and not missing anything is tough when you're new at shuttles. Also, making large boosters and external tank and connecting them all together is a thing. Not sure how to make the crap file come into the launch pad in the builder. Not the moldy one. The moldy one needs a fuel pump, Fluffy. It needs a fuel pump. And in order to get at the fuel pump, you have to take the rear axle out, because the gas tank is over the rear axle on those 3rd gen F-body Camaros. Yeah, so that project's on hold. I did get it to fire though. It does fire off, but yeah. Hey RT, what's up, man? So we worked on this lunar lander yesterday, and it does work, and it's actually pretty nice. I really do like it, but fellas, I think we should go back to just regular landing legs. I might have the biggest landing leg. Here, we can unlock the big boy landing legs, and the big boy landing legs should probably be good enough. Now, we made these things able to go out like this. To give the landing legs a really wide berth. But fellas, I'm not sure we have Discovery, I'm not sure we have the part count for this dang thing, which sucks. It's like a build sheet. Yeah. Yes it is. So without build sheets or the fender tag, so the build sheet would have the VIN and the RPO codes on it. It's basically about proving that it is what you say it is. If you can prove that the car came off the line with a very sought after engine and transmission from the factory, then it's worth more money. It's called matching numbers. It's a whole thing, dude. If you're not into old cars, if you're not into vintage cars, it's quite actually trading cards, but with automobiles. Like, if you have like a trading card, like a Pokemon card, like a holographic Pikachu or something, like, you gotta prove that that's real. You have to have the documentation to prove that that is a real thing and it's not a fake. Same thing with old cars. The build sheet from Chrysler is a way to document that works. That's documentation, or the fender tags. The VIN isn't enough. Because the VIN will tell you if it's a big motor or small motor car, and where it was made, and a couple of other things, and what kind of car it is. But you can't. The VIN number, the vehicle identification number, is not. Its serial number is not necessarily indicative of like all the factory options. So, for instance, a VIN isn't going to tell you what transmission is in the car. It'll tell you if it's a big block or a small block car, or an inline 6 car. It'll say where it was made. It'll tell you what sequence number it is. You can see when it was made from. No, you can't tell that from the VIN. But it'll say, but the VIN number is like. So the VIN on the Coronet basically says that it's a 4-door Coronet. It's a premium, so it's 500 trim, which is the highest trim level. For 69 for 4 doors, which is pretty cool. It's actually a pretty cool car from the 60s. But It'll say that it's a small block V8 and that it was made in Hamtramck, Michigan, and that's about it. Yeah, my build sheet. It's actually over there. I still have it. I have both of the build sheets. I found 2 of them. One was behind the rear seat, and one was under the rear seat. Yeah, it is a Canadian car. Yeah, Dodge built that car for Canada, as far as I can tell, because its serial number has a B in it. The first digit of the order number has a B, meaning that it's built for the Canadian market. It was exported to Canada and then imported back into the United States, which... All right. So, fellas, I don't think we have... I don't think this is going to work. So, that's the Lander concept. Lander concept's cool. Let's go down to the 2.1 vehicle. And let's get a rough estimate. This is in the flyback configuration. We retooled this. We want the Block 4 vehicle, not the 2.1. Hold on. Anyway, yeah, let's jump into KSP. Nice. So we introduced the Block 4 version of this. But we have a Block 4 with the crew, the crewed variant. We're gonna need to give it a fairing. Yeah. All right, so 24, save. Let me just make sure that the crewed variant is good. All right, that's fine. Is there a mod that exploding the... No, those are fairings, dude. Yeah, Helios, those are just fairings. B for Canada. It makes sense. So we need to separate the capsule. Oh, no, don't do that. Reload the crap file. I did the wrong thing. Get rid of those. So just terminate the fairing there and then get rid of the capsule. And we're gonna have to make a custom fairing for this thing. But that's okay. That's all right. Have you tried Stellaris? I've played Stellaris before. Alright, so I'm just trying to see if the lunar lander is gonna fit, man. I'm not sure if it is. Morning, EJ. Well, what's left of it? Hey, Nick. How are you? Right, so 114 plus 125, you good. So how much is the lander? So oh, we're well within budget, Tessa, huh? Wow. Okay. How's your day going? I'm in your house. Good, man. I'm a little late today. Because my parents showed up. They wanted to go on a little drive because they're retired and bored, and I totally get it. So they showed up with lunch. So I ended up being a little bit late for the stream, guys. Sorry about that, but if someone shows up with my house with food, especially if it's my parents, like it's getting eaten, dude. It's like I don't know what to tell you, you know. So I got to see my family today, so I'm really happy about that. That made my day. It was nice. So yeah, I ended up being a little late, and now we're behind schedule because I wanted to get this lunar lander basically operational. So we need to get to work. So if you guys did miss the stream yesterday, late in the stream yesterday, I mean, we played Kerbal for like 9 hours yesterday. We designed a lander. I have a 2-stage lander here. Are you ready for a spicy, flamey trench? Oh yeah, dude. Yeah. So, I'm actually kind of tired today. I woke up early again. I mean, that meeting lasted a good while last night. I went to bed around like 1, and I woke up at 7. And did my morning routine, and then I got out in the garage and made a ton of headway on the car. I got out the garage at like 8. I've been out there just slamming the back of the car together. It's not welded. That's not permanent. Everything's just mocked up. But long story short, I undid a couple of parts that I welded in on stream previously, realigned everything, and now it is perfect. That frame is more straight than it would have been coming out of the factory. So that's good. Family first for me also. Also, I made a lunar crew capsule. So yeah, my lunar lander is my capsule's service module with an ascent component on it, and science components and ALSEP experiments, which is pretty cool. Don't lie, you were trying to find updates on the NBA gambling scandal. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't recall these events at this time. Thanks to insomnia, I've been struggling with 3 to 4 hours average this week for a few years. Yeah, I don't know, man. Fluffy, I'm not struggling with insomnia or anything. I just have a lot to do. There's just a lot of stuff going on, you know, just a lot of things to do. I'm always busy, but it's not, I'm not woe is me. It's entirely self-inflicted. I keep myself busy because if I'm not doing something, if I'm not working, I'm not being productive, I just feel like an idiot. Do not overdo it. Fellas, I'll be honest, dude. I haven't been getting 8 hours of sleep. I don't think I think the most I got a night this week was like 6. Sometimes like 2 nights it was 4, 2 nights it was 6. I feel freaking great, actually. I'm making headway like crazy on everything. Like the car, making good progress on the car, making great progress on the lunar lander. I had a meeting last night, very productive meeting. And somehow we're cramming in 10 to 12 hour streams, man. I'm hauling butt right now. I'm actually super annoyed that the weekend's coming up because I'm in a pretty good flow right now, you know? Once again, that's probably not healthy, but that's what the weekend is for, I guess.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
I plead the 5th. 1, 2, 3, 4. So many numbers in the Constitution. I can only choose 1. 5th. Great reference. Does that meeting have anything to do with a 30th? No. We're getting old. We got to be careful with that stuff. I feel great, dude. I feel great. Like, I'm good. How's your day? My day's fine, Clayton. It's Friday, dude. We're good. Stayed up till 3 a.m. playing Kerbal, and I woke up at 8:30. In the kitchen and went back to bed and slept till 12:30 and showered. Nice. Doom, what's up, man? You picked up a 96 Z28 last week. Was that the one that you showed me before? Dude, here, look. Your boy's getting pretty proficient. Look at that thing. It actually looks like a car for a change. I'm really happy with that. I'm really happy about that. Lost it at Q&A. It's really good. All right. Can't imagine playing KSP in hard mode. I'd probably hit the spacebar by accident one time in about every 10 missions and end up decoupling in the middle of a burn. Playing without revert to launch would be horrendous. Igloo, it's tough, man. I actually have to design my systems around me not fat fingering the keyboard. Because, dude, I've made that mistake on stream. Two things. It is very stressful when you screw up like that with a bunch of people watching. And two, if I kill Kerbals, chat never lets me hear the end of it, dude. Never hear the end of it. Could you open up the fairing to see what you're hiding in the pod? What do you want to see? So, my service module shell is made out of 2 fairings. The 2 fairings are actually, you know what? So you're going to go back to the stock legs? We have the part count budget to take care of it, Rares. It's really just a question of cost at this point. Okay, Hellfish. Especially when you fly a UH-60. Oh, yeah, of course. What's for after hours? Probably Battlefield and then racing. We got racing tonight, dude. Damn, Wartaz. Yeah, Big Cheese, exactly. So, yeah, I'm going back to the stock legs. Somebody just asked me a question. Okay, Wally. Yeah. So, Wally, it's probably better if I draw how the fairings go together. That doesn't really explain much. So here, let me go into Paint, dude, and I'll show you. So, how my service module's set up. This would be a side profile, okay? So, at the front, I have a docking port, okay? And then I have a fairing that's facing forward, right? That's gizmoed a good distance away, okay? That fairing, actually it should be probably a little bit closer. That fairing, let's just put an arrow on it, has a fairing that looks like this, right? And then it's going to the decoupler. This is the decoupler around the ascent module, right? So the fairing shape looks like that. And then attached to the back of this fairing, right here, I have another fairing, and that fairing is facing this way. I attached it to the back and then I moved it. The backwards facing fairing is actually a copy. It's just a copy of the forward facing fairing, and it's doing this. See what? Actually, you know what? I'll draw it in a different color so it makes more sense. And then, of course, we have the back. And then the back fairing is closed on a Rockomax adapter. So the Rockomax adapter looks like this from the side. Right? And then I have interstage nodes activated on this fairing. And on one of the interstage nodes, I have the engine attached. The engine is attached to that. Okay? The reason why is because I want whatever I'm attaching the decoupler of the service module to, I want it attached to the Rockomax adapter because the Rockomax adapter is strong. It's a really strong piece. Okay? Now, if we're looking at the service module from the front, right? You're looking at it from the front, it looks like that. It looks like a cylinder. It's a cylinder. It's stuck in a cylinder. All right, so I have 4 1.25 fuel tanks. That are like this inside of that. They're in 4x symmetry, okay? He had a brain hemorrhage and took a big whack to my leg. Same leg, new fractures in rehab. I was wondering where you've been, dude. I hope everything's all right. So I have 4 fuel tanks. They're FLT, I think they're FLT 400. I think. I don't know the name of the dang thing. It's an FLT 200. And then mounted on so the tanks in this design, if we're looking at it from the side, the tanks are pretty much right here. They take up this area right there. And then on the front here, I have monopropellant tanks here and here. And the monoprop tanks go all the way around. That's the design, Wally. Yeah, it's 2 fairings that are actually clipped into each other to make it look like one smooth fuselage. But yeah, see, you can see the fairing right there. That's the backward-facing fairing. And there's the forward-facing fairing. See? Exactly like my drawing. How are we looking on total stack part? The stack of the block 4 vehicle is 114 parts. So we're actually, yeah, I can actually dial in these landing legs and get them right, and it'll look okay. But see, there's the monoprop tanks. Yeah. There's the Rocco Max adapter on the back. I remember somewhat how you do it from years ago, but the paint helps a lot. Yep. And see, there's the fairing's closed on the decoupler. On the capsule, the fairing is actually closed on, it closes on the, let me show you. Oh, I still have to modify this craft file to be like that. So, check this out. I'm really proud of this capsule, particularly its separation systems. So, it's the same exact service module, I just copied it. It's just the forward-facing fairing is a little bit different. So, if we take this fairing and get rid of mouse over, the forward-facing fairing is actually closed onto the launch abort system shroud. See, right there? If we open up the launch abort system shroud, check it out. I engineered this out so the aft fairing, so that's the adapter fairing, the shroud fairing that goes on the launch vehicle. The rim of this fairing and the launch abort shroud all end at the same diameter. So if you look at this thing from far away, it looks like one fairing, but it's not. It's 3. That was hard to do. I'm not gonna lie, that was really difficult. We ran into a good amount of problems at the beginning of this capsule's development trying to get that fairing to jive correctly. But it's actually 3 fairings, but it looks like one. So check it out, ready? Launch escape system jettisons, right? It looks like that. And then the shroud will deploy, and there you go. There's your capsule. It is a very clean design, dude. Yeah, I'm very, very proud of this thing. It is... We've been putting in work in this capsule, putting in work into this thing and making sure it's as good as we can make it will pay dividends. Hey, Xeon. Long time no see, man. How you doing? How's that devil dog life, man? I made a plane in KSP and it's too wobbly. As soon as I try to land, I just crash it. Been very busy, all good. Good, man. Good to hear. But yeah, you're looking at this thing from far away. It's one thing. I didn't come up with this idea, guys. This idea is inspired from Orion. Orion's launch abort system. So Orion does that same thing, and I just thought it was super cool. See, Orion has the service module to capsule adapter is actually shrouding the heat shield. See what I'm talking about? The rim of this thing is part of the it's part of the service module, and then an aft shroud gets attached to bridge the gap between this conic adapter that goes to the SM and the service module. You have three. There's 3 panels that are in tri-symmetry, so to speak, that go around the capsule. I'll tell you what, guys, the more and more I kind of look at this thing, the more and more I kind of like Orion. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good capsule. I just wish its service module had a little more kick. But the problem is that the capsule is superbly heavy. The reason why a capsule's heavy is because it could keep 4 people alive free floating in space for almost a month. That is an insane capability. Nothing is built like that. Not even Dragon can free fly for a month by itself. No way. It has to get to the space station. Shuttle couldn't do that. Not even the CSM could do that. So the Orion capsule ends up being super heavy. Yeah. But when it all comes together, that's what it looks like. See, you have your forward launch abort system, you have the service module ring, and then you have your shroud. And the shroud protects Orion's solar panels on the way up. See? Another cool thing is that Orion's solar panels can actually pivot. They're actually on a little mechanical hinge. So, when it's boosting, the solar panels can actually bend backwards. Or if you're decelerating, if you're doing a retro burn, you can bend them forwards. They can actually pivot, which is really, really trick stuff. That's how we got these awesome selfies from Artemis 1. Look at that damn picture, dude. Look at that thing. We streamed this. Look, dude, that's a real picture. And we're gonna see Artemis 2 again soon, you know? Look at that. Is that wild or what? So what the NASA engineers did, on the end of a solar panel, they put a GoPro. I'm serious, they just made a bracket on the end of the solar panel for a GoPro. And those GoPros are transmitting a signal over Orion's Wi-Fi. Yeah, that's right, Orion has Wi-Fi. So they just mounted the GoPro, ran a power cable out there for them, right? Literally spliced like a USB cable for power into the damn GoPro, and the video was actually transmitted over Wi-Fi back to the capsule. That's how they got these pictures. It's actually badass. It's actually, all right, that's actually really cool, you know? And a continental breakfast. Yep. You gonna fly a mission with it today? Jim Boy, the capsule, I'm short on time. Let me finish up the lander, and that's the goal. We'll see what happens. We did some lunar landing leg tests yesterday, and it did prove promising, but I want to dial in this design. These legs just look like we tacked them on, and I'm not... I got to refine it a little bit more. These legs look like I just tacked them on. The reason why they look like I just tacked them on is because I did just tack them on. And the capsule streamed it to us via OBS. I don't know. They streamed it to them. They streamed it to us via some magical Lockheed avionics. My capsule, the Taurus capsule, is like if you took Orion and the Apollo service module and kind of combined them together. I took bits and pieces from each capsule that I like and made a capsule that's basically designed to do what I want it to do. For instance, I uprated my service module. My service module has proportionally way more Delta V than Orion's does. You'll see why. I'll tell you why in a little bit. But we have a Taurus-derived lunar module. That's right. Is it the SM from the capsule? Yep. Oh, I planned on doing that, guys. Yeah, this is actually a lunar SSTO. It'll SSTO to the moon. If Octo 3, the Block 4 Octo 3 vehicle that we're working on, that we're trying to integrate, we're going to end up integrating it with this. If that ends up hold on. Yeah, okay, sorry. I thought of something with integration. But if this thing can put this thing on translunar or transminmus injection, let's bring up the Delta V map. I'll show you. All right, so let's go down here. We're going to the moon. So if Octo 3, the Block 4 can move us here to here, right? That means in order to get down to the lunar, to circularize and get down to the lunar surface, we need 900 meters a second Delta V for circularization and then landing. 900. This lunar lander with the first stage has 1600. So 4 launch landing? Nope, just 2 for now. So we are well over-engineered for purpose. The ascent portion of this vehicle has 894 meters a second. The margins here are huge on purpose. It's over-engineered for purpose, but what I sacrificed in over-engineering, we don't need that much Delta V. I made up for in time to develop because we used an off-the-shelf component. It's the service module from the capsule. Same thing. And that made development of this vehicle really, really fast. Hey Industries, what's up? Carnicero, ciao, come stai? Do I hear lunar base architecture? Yeah. Maybe. Oop, that's rusty. You don't want that. Unless you guys want to see YouTube chat, you know. That's fine. Hi YouTube chat. I'm touching you. Please no. Hey, they're all right. What's wrong with them? Did someone link the Reddit post with Everyday Astronaut? No. No, touch me! Sorry. Should I save the spicy questions for later? I mean, you can ask if you want. I'll decide whether I want to answer them. I really want to get these landing legs good to go, though, fellas, so... Double 4-bar landing gear. Have you drop tested the legs? I actually have, yeah. What is this? A serious question. Why is the EUS even being considered when Centaur 5 still seems like a much better fit for SLS? Instead of the billion spent plus 700 million per unit, couldn't an off-the-shelf Centaur be purchased for less than 120 million? Oh, you sweet summer child. EUS exists because Boeing needed a new cost-plus contract after the core stage development work was done. And KSP needed some more of that sweet ground systems money. That... Don't demean Tim like that. He does great work. Jeez Louise. See, fellas, you want to know one of the best reasons why I'm like super happy that I was able to lock back in with KSP? You want to know one of the best reasons why? Look, yesterday when we were engineering out our lunar lander, I was like, yeah, I'll put the service module on it. I might have to make some modifications to it, right? We might have to make some modifications to it, but it should be enough delta V to at least get me down to the surface. No, I put that service module on there, and it immediately clicked in my head that this has more than enough delta V. Now, why it has more than enough delta V? Now, keep in mind, guys, this is in KSP. It's in Kerbal. It's in Kerbal. Kerbal's not real life. I get it. So that got me thinking. Lockheed Martin, or Bob Benkin at Lockheed Martin, proposed the other day to NASA. He said to Eric Berger basically that Lockheed is ready to commit to a 30-month plan of building a lunar lander. And at the time, I was like, "What? No, you're not doing that." But I started thinking about it. And we did some calculations, and I want to talk to the guys on Flame Trench about this. We did some calculations out yesterday. I mean, keep in mind they were very, very abstract delta V numbers. Like we need more time to hone it in to do the calculations right. I obviously don't have the mass of every single component on Orion, so it's hard to say. But if Lockheed Martin built an Ascent module that is Orion derived, so an Ascent module using Orion's avionics, using Orion's life support systems, using Orion's touchscreens or switches, whatever. Using basically everything from Orion, but putting it in an Ascent module-shaped vehicle, you could use the European Service Module, the ESM, as your descent stage. And as long as you kept your Ascent vehicle around 3 to 4 tons, fully fueled, the descent module, an ESM-derived descent module, so Orion service module, but with an Ascent module built on top of it, that's Orion-derived. If you did that, you would have enough delta V to get down to the surface of the moon from Gateway. I don't think Lockheed's bluffing with that 30-month thing. And now, why do I bring this up? Why do I bring this up? I bring this up because I find what I just did and what I just told you to be a little more productive than that. I don't know. I find it to just be a little better use of my time. I thought you said we don't need Gateway. I personally don't like it, Chief. But In the context of, I mean, Lockheed doesn't necessarily need Gateway for this architecture either. You could... That Orion-derived lunar lander that I'm telling you about would pretty much... I'd have to go see the mass of the European service module fully fueled. It wouldn't be more than 10 tons, dude. 10 metric tons. Now, let's just say that that lunar lander is 10 metric tons. So let's look at Vulcan Centaur VC6. VC6, okay, can do 1,400 or 14,000 to geo, okay, to geostationary transfer. If we go, I mean, this is just the Vulcan Centaur wiki page, okay, so just check this out. Translunar injection, Vulcan VC6, 12,000 kilos. Vulcan could put a Vulcan rocket or New Glenn, the Bong, or Falcon Heavy could throw this lander to rectilinear halo orbit easily. Throw it to rectilinear halo. That's not that big of a deal. I mean, VC6 can do 12 tons TLI. That is, so you know, VC6 puts this on a translunar injection, this our proverbial lander, right? The lander circularizes in rectilinear halo, which doesn't cost that much delta V, right? And then SLS Block 1 with Orion could shoot the Orion out there. You could rendezvous the Orion with your lander in rectilinear halo. 2 people in the lander, down to the surface from NRHO, back up to 9-day stay on the moon, back up, and go. Or actually, you probably wouldn't want to do 9-day stay. You'd probably just want to land and then come right back, because you'll get out of phase with Orion. I don't think the Ascent module has the mass to do a 9-day stay for your environmental control systems, but it might. Long story short, there you go. There's your lunar mission. That, what I just told you, is well doable by the time Artemis 3 rolls around. The biggest thing would be to make another ESM, make another European service module, put landings, design some kind of landing leg for it, and then engineer out a pressure vessel for an Ascent module. That wouldn't take very long. Most of your components are already qualified on Orion. I mean, Shrubber, you don't even need New Glenn. You don't even need New Glenn to do it. Vulcan VC6 could do it. If you put a New Glenn with an impulse spaces upper stage on it, Impulse's upper stage could get that thing to low lunar, could get the lander to low lunar, but then Orion wouldn't be able to get to it. But let's assume 30 months is theoretically possible. Does Lockheed's recent track record substantiate any confidence that their organization can pull it off? Lockheed, the people designed for the logistics and industrial capacity that gave us the F-35 with an $80 million price tag, yeah, I'd say they're up to task, dude. I would say that they're very much up to task. If the money's there, yeah, you could scale this, no problem. Also, Lockheed don't commit to saying we can do whatever in time frame unless they know and have already at least prototyped it out. Bingo. And as far as Tim goes, so I've seen people say this, put Centaur 5 on top of SLS. Guys, the truth of the matter is that Centaur 5 is an amazing stage. It cannot handle the loads. There's a reason why on Atlas 5, right? So Centaur, there's a reason why on Atlas V with heavier payloads, Centaur is using, it has a forward load reactor. Now, that's not necessarily the case with Vulcan, so that probably states that Centaur 5 could handle the load capacity, but that's load capacity of Vulcan VC6. A rocket that makes, what, like 10 meganewtons at liftoff? SLS makes 35. The Centaur upper stage with a payload on top of it can't take that type of load. I'm sorry, it just can't. it would blow it up. Centaurs, guys, have a tank wall thickness that's smaller than a coin, smaller than a dime. Centaur is utilizing balloon tanks. They're made out of paper-thin stainless steel. You could punch a hole through it. Like, if you had a screwdriver and it was unpressurized, you could punch a hole through it. It's almost the consistency of tin foil or aluminum foil, right? Centaur 5 would not be able to take the load. It wouldn't. You would squish it like a beer can. And that's admitted, like Tori Bruno admitted that. Like, actually, I don't know if Tori Bruno admitted that. I know they did blow up a Centaur 5 on a test stand, so they know where its upper load limits are. But you'd have to really look into the factor of safety that they engineered the bursting pressure to be at relative to max loads that are max compression load that's encountered on balloon tanks during ascent for VC6. Oh, a beer can. It's up 5 a.m. somewhere. Interest you in a pint? So, Centaur 5 would not be able to handle any substantial payload on top of SLS. That's why they're building the EUS. The EUS makes up for this by making the hydrogen tank structurally integral. And the hydrogen tank for the EUS is holding... The liquid oxygen tank is actually hanging from the hydrogen tank in the EUS's design. That way you can save mass on your LOX tank, because your LOX tank doesn't need to be able to withstand the compression load, just the hydrogen tank. But they made the hydrogen tank almost like donut shaped if you look at it from the side. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not the biggest fan of the EUS, but there's a reason. I understand the reasons why they're making it. I think there are better alternatives to this. But yeah, you see how the LOX tank is hanging? The LOX tank is hanging, and the engines are hanging from that. Well, one, liquid oxygen tanks, rocket engines are not structurally integral. Every rocket engine hangs inside of an interstage. But they make it this way so you don't have to make this tank as thick. And all you got to do is just put an aft skirt and a forward skirt around your hydrogen tank. See how the hydrogen tank's kind of donut shaped without the donut hole in the center? Right? This makes it so most of the stage's structure can be lighter because it's out of what's called your primary load path. Your primary load path is basically the structural integrity behind the rocket. The load on a rocket gets transmitted through the outer wall because it's a cylinder. Could we just put 2 BE3Us on it? An EUS with double BE3Us would be great. That would be really good. I'm not sure it would be able to fit the BE3's nozzles, but yeah. So, yeah, if you really wanted the answer to Timmy's question, that's the answer. Now, once again, like I said, you could say this. That's Eric's style. That's what he does. We know that. You could say that, or you could say what I just said and just answer the question. But, you know, Buddy's got an axe to grind. And with that being said, I kind of don't blame him. When I put 2 and 2 together the other day, and we figured out that the SLS program is basically carrying the same cost as the Constellation program without actually doing anything, I got a little upset. So TLDR, Orion is too heavy. It's not that Orion is too heavy. It's that... Actually, to be honest with you fellas, I've been reading more in what little spare time that I have. This is usually right before I go to sleep. I've been reading more about Constellation's architecture, and to be honest, there are some things with it that I actually don't really like. I know that sounds a little strange coming from me. Yeah, there's some things with it that I'm just not a fan of. Live life by the golden rule. Yeah. 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 But anyway, I could talk to, I could talk more about the kind of stuff that I'm not too big of a fan of some other time. Let's get these landing legs figured out. Let's be productive. That's almost perfect, dude. V3U 780 kilonewtons of thrust before. Well, the RL10C is 110. Wouldn't even need two of them. Yeah, I would prefer the simplicity of a single engine. I'm not really like Shrub. I don't really. Engine out capability is good when you're on your uphill ride. Not so much when you're in space. I mean, look at Falcon 9. Falcon 9 is a single second stage engine. It does just fine. Right? I mean, don't get me wrong, they have had problems with it, but you know, it's okay. We really need that lower hinge, and wouldn't it be structurally better to attach the octag to the extender strut? Well, strut that to the alligator? Well, once again, Muffin, it's about load path. The load path gets transmitted through the part hierarchy, so I would like my loads being pushed on this thing up here. It'll make the lander more stable during landing. I'd prefer that to be the primary load path here. Not this. This is just to hold it in place, dude. That makes sense, homie? Now, what I'm really trying to figure out is where this thing, you know, where do we flip to? Is it on a Cal controller? No, we don't need a Cal controller, dude. You don't need one for this. You just extend that. And this, yeah, that'll do it. In fact, none of these hinges really need to be powered. Not even that one. Just this. Just this with a, you know, a little bit of damping force should do us right. Let's put this thing out again. Let's try to I mean, how high are we off the ground here? Yeah, we're about 5 meters up. That's pretty good. All right, let's give it a little testorino. We can't test in the SPH, but we can test here. We can test on the launch pad. Actually, let's see what that does. This will actually probably bend it a little bit. It'll probably drop it at an angle, which would be good for some research. Would you even have engine out capabilities with only 2 engines? It would be really hard to get an offset B through you to go through the center of gravity. Yeah, just a single one on an EUS would be just fine. Okay, so that's unlocked. That's unlocked. Disengage the motor. Set our target extension rate low and set this to 60. Okay, so check this out. Now what we do is we lock that, we lock that, we lock that, and we could either keep this thing with the damper on, or we could just lock that too. And if we lock all this out, I'm fairly confident that here, let me just make sure the audio is not going to blow your eardrums out. Kerbal likes to overdrive audio. All right, there we go. So check this out. Centaur 5 does make sense. I'm telling you guys, you know, this is just some napkin math. Centaur will absolutely obliterate itself. Centaur wouldn't be able to handle the loads. If James Webb couldn't handle the loads on SLS, per Eric Berger, a Centaur definitely won't either. Centaurs are not, like, Centaur 5 is probably the strongest Centaur around, but there's no way that they have a 3-factor of safety on, like, liftoff thrust, for instance. Right? The forces pushing up on that stage are, I mean, they might be in line with VC6, maybe? But, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's all napkin math, so. Ready? 3, 2, 1. We exceeded 7 meters a second impact. So we're gonna need to make the parts out of something more impact tolerant. Vulcan VC6. It's the 6 SRB variant of Vulcan element. Dual B3Us on an EUS would be great, but the EUS wouldn't have as much delta. Well, actually, yeah, it pretty much would. But, yeah. Or just grab the regular landing legs and call it a day. All right, whatever. I mean, I don't have a problem with that either. Actually, these look pretty fit for purpose, guys. That's actually about the same spread as it's about the same spread as the robotic legs that we just made. Yeah, I like having the lights up high. Having them up high makes it so it's kind of easier to see what's going on up and around the lander. Yeah, that's cool. So shut those lights off. And then these, yeah, they come with sound effects too. Oh yeah. Killer. All right. We will retract the ladder. Oh, ladder. Oh no, we should be able to select it. One thing that we actually do need to test is whether this ladder works. We got to test the functionality of this vehicle. So let's just move it over to the VAB with these landing legs, and we'll go from there. Actually, fellas, like we probably get away with moving these legs up just a little bit. I love how it doesn't mess with the thrusters either. That's actually super nice. Why are there no SRBs between the kickback and the thumper? I need an in-between. Pollux will work. Yeah, Pollux maybe. Did the spring rate really automatically adjust to 154? I saw it. It said 154. Huh. That was not ideal. Okay, so climbing up works. Yeah, I think that was just because he EVA'd without any helmet. But then again, Bill EVA'd with no helmet and it wasn't a big deal. Do we need something to passivate the descent stage after landing? Yeah, we probably should do that. That's a good idea. But, Nova, here's the thing. With the amount of Delta V that this thing has, I was actually thinking we could land, and then we might have enough Delta V to recircularize, but if we don't, that would be a good way to dispose of the descent stage. Hey, Chaz, what's going on, man? Doesn't like when you go to the top of that ladder. Okay, we just got to be careful with the ladder. Okay. Hey, Serby. It's pronounced Kirby. Why don't you spell it that way? I'm just kidding, man. I got you. Thank you for letting me know. I've seen what I wanted to see. Would you be able to do a little docking tutorial when you get to it? Because I understand the mechanics behind it. I'm just unsure how to do it in game. Yeah, yeah, sure, man. So is the drop test supposed to start the landing engine for a soft touchdown? No, I was just testing the ergonomics of the lander that time. Yeah, I don't know. Don't worry about it, dude. I'm just messing. But I won't know unless you tell me, so thank you for telling me. Alright. I think the lander is pretty good. I would like to do a shakedown with this thing, and I don't want to really rush this, but I think it's okay. I think we're fine. So we're gonna close up those legs. Close up the ladder. We got time for a shakedown. When I say shakedown, I mean get this thing up into low Kerbin orbit, send the capsule up there, dock the capsule to this thing uncrewed, and just make sure everything works. Uncrewed Apollo 10. We could do something like Apollo 9, yeah, but an Earth orbit rendezvous. That would serve to probably validate all the systems correctly, but we got to be careful about budget and stuff. You know? I like this lander. This thing is pretty good, man. I'm putting nose cones on things to make sure that we don't attach to the wrong thing. I want to make sure that my decoupler is attached to the I want to make sure my decoupler is attached to the Rockomax plate, not attached to a fuel tank inside of the lander or something. So I put the nose cones on to cover up the attachment nodes. $73 with this one, probably a little bit more. 215 parts, Tessa, so yeah, not bad at all. That's actually really good. The next thing we got to do is I have to design a fairing for this. I need something that's 3.75 meters because I want this thing to have a 375 fairing for this version. This thing is quite actually just turning into Condor 9, and you know what? I don't care. It ended up being very similar to a past vehicle that I've made, but it's better. It's going to be better than Condor 9. But yeah, Chaz, I'll do orbit rendezvous for you during this shakedown, man. So what I'm going to do here is I'm making a ruler because I'm trying to I want my fairing to be a very specific diameter. I was kind of thinking 375 would be nice and useful for this thing, but were you always interested in rockets when you were a kid? Yeah, I've always liked spaceflight, dude. My parents took me to KSP when I was 3 years old. Yeah, I don't know, man. And some of my fondest memories were watching Formula 1 races and shuttle missions with my dad when I was really, really young. What, your parents did such cool stuff? My dad watching TV. He was watching television. My dad watched, when I was young, he put NASA TV on and Formula 1 races and stuff on the television and Rambo. Isn't that right, Rambo? Random, have you heard of the Orlando Dreamers? It's a group trying to get an MLB team in Orlando, close to I-Drive, next to 528, next to exit 1. Huh. I've lost all faith in your favorite fighter. When asked if he believes people went to the moon, he said no and does not believe people have ever been to space. So sad. Can't win them all. I mean, Peter, I'm not trying to be a jackass because saying this would probably get me punched in the face and whatever, that's fine. But, you know, you fight people for a living and that's cool. That's neat. But getting punched for a living isn't exactly the hallmark of, you know, like, the guy doesn't have a PhD in mathematics, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't have anything wrong with people that fight. That's cool. I dig it. I get it, but you know, guy's not a rocket scientist, man. Don't meet your heroes. They're never what you make them out for in your head. I don't know, man. When I shook Charlie Duke's hand, he was pretty much as cool as I thought he would be. I'm just saying, bros. I'm just putting it out there. Like, Charlie Duke was pretty cool. Just so was Fred Hayes. That was pretty good. You know? And Kirby, I don't think the Minecraft server is up. Shaking Chris Hadfield's hand was absolute. Like I said, astronauts are usually as cool as they seem. You know, like They usually are. I remember that interview, right? So that's 2.4, 2.6 diameter. Actually, that wouldn't be 2.4. It would be 1.2 meter diameter. 1.4 meter diameter. Actually, no, that would be radius. It is the diameter. So that's 2.4, 2.6, 2.8, 3 meter diameter. I don't think 3 meter will encompass the legs, so we're gonna need 3, 3.2, 3.4, 3.6. Yeah, you know what? Yeah. Gonna look a little bit weird, but let's make it happen, Captain. Get rid of the rulers. Oh, that's not going to look too bad. That's actually going to look pretty nice. Yeah, I met Mike Massimino. Yeah, astronauts are usually winners. Like, they're usually really cool. Like, astronauts is the real deal, man. That fairing's a little bit big for task. We don't have height restrictions anymore. It's just part count restrictions because I upgraded the launch pad. Hey, Space, welcome back. But designing the fairing big right now means that if we qualify this one, we should be able to fit whatever we want in here for a good period of time. Right. We're gonna have to be a little bit weary of this fairing during separation, guys, it could break things. That's a big fairing to shoot out. Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't be an issue, but we're gonna have to test it. I'm not entirely sure we should test it. We should probably dummy payload this thing. Yeah. This thing looks nice. It's a nice rocket. Nice. Full send, get data on the craft as well. That's an awful big expenditure, dude. Actually, Octo, 3, block, 4 LV. We can just save this like this. And I'm just making sure all my versions of different craft files are working. O3, B4, LV, Argo, variant. Save it and overwrite it. We have 3. Yeah, we could launch it a bunch of times, but I just... Guys, we want to be careful. You don't want to screw this up. I mean, the lunar lander is expensive. Yeah, I'm pretty confident that the rest of this should work just fine. I'm a little bit worried about the fairing separation. You know, the other one worked really well, but that was a much smaller fairing, so... I'm going to put the ejector force up to 800. And what it should do is it should go to eject the fairings, and the fairings, it'll eject the fairings with an outward force, and the fairings should get hung up right here, and they rotate kind of out of that gray fairing. So the fairing separation actually doesn't look like this. It actually rotates the fairings off to the side. That I do that on purpose, but sometimes to get the fairing separation to look right. But sometimes it gets hung up there and it breaks things. What we could do is move this way to make sure that it doesn't cause any problems. And we could get 1.25 flags. because we have some spare part count here, set the flag as, I don't know, I have an insulator color swatch there. And it, you know, make it look like a payload attachment fitting. Actually, you know what? That looks cool, but I'm thinking the gray would just... I love the color swatches. We could make it look like a wing. Oh. I actually kind of like it. Yeah, that should do it, dude. Yeah. The insulator looks right. Yeah, it looks like MLI. Actually, we should get an MLI texture. We should do that. All right. I'm good with the insulator. The insulator looks cool. You can do a shiny foil. I don't think I have a shiny foil. Tank tech. Whoa. Tank texture? Is that a stock color swatch? I don't even know. What about stripes? It looks like a buoy. No, I'm good. I didn't mind the tank texture. What happens if we take the tank texture and give it the dark background? That doesn't make a difference. It looks like a Fram filter. It absolutely does. Could always give it a good old checkerboard. Nope. Nope. Kerbal constructs. What do the colors do on the insulator? Nothing. All right, dudes. So what I want to do is evaluate how much delta V this thing has when it gets on orbit. The other thing, yeah, let's gear up. Yeah, I'm good. We're good for a launch. Okay, so what I want to do here, couple of evaluations on the mission. Second of all, we should stage this, stage it correctly. What I'm going to do is go back into the SPH and set the staging there, just so all my craft files are similar. So engine ignition, separation. It does that sometimes. Don't worry about it. It's just... Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we have... the engines are uprated to 120, which should give me about 1.7 meganewtons at liftoff. That should be pretty good. That should give us 1.2 TWR. Give or take. Okay. Separation. Now what do we have? That is staging. So, and that is my separator motor. So that goes there. That goes there. We need upper stage ignition right there. Right here is that. Now we need payload fairing jettison. Right there. Upper stage ignition, payload fairing jettison. Hopefully that works and doesn't kill us. Then we have payload separation, descent module ignition, ascent module separation, and ascent module ignition. Nope, they're all T-45s. I hate mixing engines in engine sections. I hate it. I don't know. My brain can't do that. I'm sorry. It just looks so goofy with 3 different types of engines down here. I'm not doing that. The only time I'm like okay with it is if it's a vernier engine on the side. So like Soyuz or Atlas SLV. I'm fine with that. I hate it. I would hate it if 6 of these were LVT-30s. It just... EJ's brain doesn't work that way, dudes. Sorry. Are your flags fully custom or are they from a pack? They're from my custom flag pack, Chaz. If you pop over into Twitch chat and type !flags, it'll give you the pack that I use with all the numbers. It should have all the color swatches. It should have the numbers, the letters, and Cyrillic as well. So if you want to make like a Russian rocket, you can write Soyuz on the side. Come on, bruh. You dislike combo engine sections, yet like Starship. Curious. Who says I liked Starship's engine section? Just saying the shuttle did it better. I think the shuttle did it better because the shuttle made an engine that can work down here and up there. It's pretty good. The space shuttle. There are obviously applications to differential engine sections. This conversation is mostly referring to the first stage, guys. But yes, for the most part, I do not like clustered engines. Different types of engines. Does gimbal functionality qualify them as different engines if everything else is the same? No. No, Super Heavy has Raptors on it. Some of them move, some of them don't. The shuttle had 2 kind of engines in its aft as well. Yes, yes, yes. No, I appreciate what you guys are doing. You guys are taking something as highly complicated and complex as rocket science and reducing it to farcical grammatical errors. Good job. No, you're really making a difference. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, no, we should mix engines. No, I'm wrong. Hey, is a hot dog a sandwich? Discuss amongst yourselves. I'm gonna test the rocket. Let's just check for contracts before we do this. I'm ready to go. Aqualex, that can be summed up basically with the internet. That whole paragraph sums up the internet in a nutshell, dude. And you know what, man? I'm not saying that I haven't done that to people too. I try not to though. But sometimes the Northeast comes out and I just, you gotta stick it to chat. You gotta stick it to them. You gotta stick it to them. It's like Les Grossman in Tropic Thunder. The actors, they don't know what they want. Sometimes you gotta get up and you gotta slap them. My client guarantees TiVo on location. You sometimes Yes. Precisely. Yes. All right. Let's check our contracts here. Are Americans really English? I ain't English. Hell no. Something T Harbor. Something 1776. You know. You know what I mean. Science data from the space around Kerbin. Okay, cool. We can justify the cost of this, at least a little bit. With that mission right there. We'll transmit some science from it. I'm not undercomplicating rocket science. I'm just saying my aesthetic preference is the superior aesthetic. And I'm saying you're wrong. Get out of here. It's my stream. I'm saying you're wrong. Get out of here, you little fricker. Conduct temperature surveys around the moon. If this thing has enough to get out to the moon, guys, we could do this. We could do this mission. You're Italian, us Anglo-Saxons don't claim you. Good. Brother, you think the sun never sets on the English Empire?
Discovery, go and throttle up.
Bro, before that, there was Rome, baby. Rome. Okay? Rome. All roads lead to Rome. They don't say all roads lead to Londinium. Nah, son. Hey, Stavlin, 74-month resub. I think we have enough to enter moon orbit, Panderific. Yeah, this should have enough to get down to low lunar. And as long as if we go 10,000 circular, hey, wait, I can't accept it? Oh, we have 7 missions going. Science data from space around Kerbin. Maybe we can belt that out right now. It has been 0 minutes since we thought of the Roman Empire. Oops. Here, let's see what this thing is. Please tell me you have a probe core. Nope. No probe core. Cool. This was just a pre-existing probe, guys. That was there. I just thought about KSC is not a public entity because you can always get contracts about doing science in space. Oh, okay. Yeah, conduct temperature surveys around the moon. Let's just go to the tracking station here and let's look so we can see what type of orbit they're in. If these things are in a low inclination around the moon, we should be good to go. That's pretty low to me, Chubbs. Wait, how do you apply the EJ flags so neatly to my craft? Is there a mod for that? How do I apply them so neatly? I just turn off angle snap with the gizmos, dude. Oh, so we can aim for a pretty low inclination here around the moon with the lander, and we can conduct the temperature surveys over there, and that's actually a really good shakedown, and it pretty much justifies the entire test flight. So the sun never sets on the British Empire, guy. No, not guy, lad. Don't make the Italian tell you how to speak English. The sun never sets on the British Empire, lad. Man, you're really failing that whole Anglo-Saxon thing pretty hard right now. Sean's Cannery, dude. Yeah, it's one of the companies in game. All right, let's pull this thing. Send it. You guys ready for a test flight? Yes, I want to go to London and become part of the London Silly-Nannies. Okay, banter aside, let's do this. That is a really big fairing. Yeah, it don't look too bad. We probably should make it a little thinner, but whatever. It's fine. All right, get out of there. All right, here we go. Oh, hold on 1 second. All right, let's get her out to the pad. All right. Okay. Is this kind of like Apollo 5? A little bit. How's the lander doing? We're rocking around a little bit. All right, guys. Here we go. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4,
Discovery,
3,
throttle up.
2, 1. Don't explode. Ignition. And liftoff. 1.22 right off the bat, just as we intended. Things looking good. All right. Vehicles completed the roll program. Pitching over. Vehicles pitching downrange. gotta be careful with that structure, dude. This is why I wanted to test this. Oh, fairing's too big. We're gonna... Yeah. I hate you guys. You did this. I didn't want to send this. I don't know why I listened to you. Fairing's too much. It has too much aerodynamic moment. It's too big.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
This is why systems validation is important, guys. It's too big. The fairing's too much. I don't want to lose my lander. Sorry, we're on a tight budget, so... Suck it, game. I'm not gonna play that crap. Hell no. I got most of it back. We didn't get all of it because it was a little far down range, but... yeah, we got it. Well, that wasn't great. I actually saved the rocket, mostly. I mean, we basically paid the price of fuel. The fairing has too much moment. That's the problem. It has too... it's bending the rocket on the way up. Yeah, we'll throttle down with this fairing, dude. That was smart reuse on an extreme level. That should help. Need some drag at the bottom? Needs landing legs at the bottom, that's what it needs. No, we can meter the ascent. It's not a big deal. Not all the gimbal on all my engines are turned on, guys. That's the thing. They're not all turned on because they don't need to be. Until now. Nah, I think I can just control the ascent a little bit better. I should be able to get this right. And also, yeah, we're kind of out of time. I said we would get this thing up in the air today, and I meant it. What about some canards? Okay, take two. T minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. I said don't blow up last time. 3, 2, 1, go! So here's what we're looking for. See right here? These are showing your SAS making corrective commands, right? So it's giving a little pitch, a little bit of yaw, a little bit of roll. If one of these locks, if any of these red arrows get to the end of any of these bars, we got a big problem. We've gimbal locked our thrust vector control system, which is not ideal. Okay, go at throttle up. So it looks like with this fairing, we're going to actually have to throttle down for max Q, which is pretty cool. Of course, we overburned, but We don't have enough to land, but still cool. We could still try it. Infinite fuel? Nah, I'm not doing that. Not in career. We only have 150 fuel left, guys. We're not landing on that. Unless this thing can really slow itself down in the atmosphere, we're not doing that. All right. Payload fairing jettison. It didn't rotate. Whatever. I ain't complaining. That worked just fine. Where did my stage go? Oh, probes. There it is. Oh, I got worried there for a second. It's just the lander. I can't make a vehicle big enough to launch both of them, dude. We do, Tessa. That was the point. Octo 3 is big enough to shoot this out on translunar injection. This and the capsule. Get close. Okay, that's good. It was like 130 by 70. I did it as quick as possible because if this thing goes below 25, right? If it goes below 25, we're kind of screwed. Yeah, this is not going to end great. Dude, I gotta figure out what's doing that. That shouldn't have happened. We should not have this booster back, but I'm not complaining. That, I don't know. I don't want to know. I don't want to know what just happened. I have no idea what that just did. I don't know. I didn't do it. I didn't change anything, guys. I started a new save. And all of a sudden my water is like freaking Jello. Early parts of the RSS playthrough, it's torture and fun at the same time. Yeah, Ari, that's what everybody tells me. Kerbals, those dudes are just blueberry jelly. Yep. I had the same thing in months. I'm using the same mods, but Electron, what gets me is that it was never like this before. Kerbals water was like water. It was like a freaking brick. If you hit it at like 70 meters a second, let alone 200, you'd be done. That's it. But I'm happy we did get the stage back. I think you left the Game Genie on. Maybe the Game Shark, yeah. I don't know, man. It's very strange. I'm gonna have to go around looking in the waterfall config file, see what it does. All right. The lander is on orbit, baby. That's pretty cool. Oh no, don't go chasing waterfall config. So yeah, throttling that thing, we have to throttle down from XQ with this design, because yeah, I was worried about that. But yeah, fairing looked good, everything looked good. That looked fine. There was nothing wrong with that. MSC slot machine luck. Oh no, don't mention that crap, Scott. Stage has 795 meters a second delta V. It's not enough to get us to the moon. It's enough to get us close. We need 860. So we're short. So this thing, what we're gonna have to do is, oh, that's terrible. Whatever. Isn't your lander way overbuilt anyway? Yes. All right. What I'm gonna do? Sorry, I just didn't like how the D was over the N and the A was over the N. I'd prefer them to be next to each other. So we have our ascending descending node. We're in a good enough orbit. What we need to do? Oh, hello. Nope. I guess. Oh, there he is. I'll put us in a type of orbit that will expend the stage. So we'll dial in a little bit of radial in. Wait 3/4 of a moon orbit. It's cheaper. What? No, it's not. Why would it? The moon's not eccentric, Tessa. What are you talking about? Okay. This thing is saying that I have enough, which is... What vehicle is flying that massive polar orbit? That was a customer mission. That's Rokia Sat 1. You already have a high AP. That's not gonna... Tessa, I don't think that would overcome 40 meters a second. Delta V. Oh, I see. All right. No, what we'll do is we'll separate the lander. We'll have the lander complete the last 40 seconds of the 40 meters a second of the burn, and this thing I'll have the stage coast out to Apogee, and hopefully we have enough to deorbit it. Okay. Prototype landers go for trans-lunar injection, or trans-mooner injection, we'll say. Okay, we're gonna ignite at T-minus 30 because it says it's about a 60-second burn to do this. Yeah. Actually, going a little bit earlier would give us time to separate this and have this complete the rest of the burn so the phasing doesn't get screwed up. So let's do it now. Ready? Ullage. And ignition. Okay, stand by for spacecraft separation. Spacecraft separation confirmed. We have an offset COM somehow. Something is putting a rotational thrust component on this thing. check our trajectory. You guys want to crash into the moon? We're gonna have to dispose of that stage somehow. All right, well, let's go around the horn. I don't have the manual enabled for the RCS here, but so this is the same thruster block configuration as my as the service module, but I have less translational control thrusters because we don't need them. Your experiments are all on one side. Yeah, that's probably it. We can take into account the offset. It's just something to note. Double lunar grav assist. I don't want that. Let's enable the OMAC thrusters. It should get us. Okay. Lander COM is off center. You counted for that with the lander engines, but not the kicker stage. Then, all right. What? Oh, yeah, okay. I was gonna say. Gotta make sure the solar's charged, dude. Look at that free return. Now that's a free return. Damn. All right, real quick, now that we're in Lunar SOI, just gonna try to see if we can do a disposal for this stage. Is this just using lunar gravity? It's using lunar gravity to get us give us what's called a. It's giving us a lunar ejection angle that puts us back toward that ejects us inward to the moon's orbit. It's an inward ejection angle that, yeah, basically it shoots us right back towards Kerbin. We use the gravity of the moon to turn around. I put it in a free return trajectory just in case something goes wrong with the lander. If something blows up, something goes wrong, don't have to worry about space debris. The moon will throw it back at Kerbin and Kerbin will eat it. So the lander's over there somewhere. But I just want to get this AP low enough here to make sure that the Kraken eats this stage. I don't want this thing floating around in space. So, we got about 2 minutes. 2 minutes here for the reaction control system burn for disposal. I just got to get that below 25, guys, and then we switch back to the lander. If making over-engineered moon landing vehicles is cool, call you Miles Davis. Please tip the lander at landing. It seems like normal practice these days. I don't want to do that. No, I haven't tried slamming the booster down, Wartos. Never done that. Never thought of the atmosphere as the planet's digestive tract before. I don't know how to feel about this. It's gonna eat it. It's gonna shoot out super hot fire and eat it. Like a dragon. So that's enough for aero braking. That will eat it. But we'd have to be riding the stage down. If we can just get our perigee below 25, we should be good. Cha-ching, and that's how you don't clog up your save with Dookie. Hey, Starlight. Well, that's why Australians are so successful at KSP. You don't have a tipping culture over there. Oh! $17.89 coming from the lander right now. Pretty good little Lunar lander. Johnny Shades! Johnny Shades! What's going on, man? Welcome to Mission Control. You're a go at throttle up. guys, this might not end well because we might get blackout, a signal blackout here on the back side of the moon. Just the way our phasing came in. We'll see. If not, I would just do it on the other side of the moon. It's not a big deal. Yep. That's what I thought. Balls. Good thing I didn't try for it, because that would have sucked if we did. This isn't as efficient, but once again, we have the margins. I'm not too worried about it. Okay. We've captured the lander around the moon. Heck yeah. Johnny, what's up, man? So our next burn here, I am going to put us, I'm going to change our orbital inclination to fly over the temperature, the areas with temp. So those don't need to be thrust limited. That's the other thing. We should change the thrust limiters. And honestly, fellas, we should probably move the thrusters to the back end of this thing. Because these a thruster block is actually quite close to our center of mass. But whatever. All right, let's go out here. So, fellas, the next lander should probably have more than 160 batteries on it. 160 battery. That will absolutely not survive a lunar night, so we can really only land in the daytime. No landing? Fuel cell? I don't have fuel cells unlocked, rarest. EJ, 30 minutes to flame trench. I know the time, dudes. Thank you. Yeah. So this is where we're going to have to leave on Monday. On Monday, we'll do this. Cool. Yeah, Monday, we'll do Mondays. Mondays. That's actually good. I like that. I like that, Lucy. That's good. Mondays. All right, dudes. So, what we're going to do is on Monday, we'll send the capsule out there Actually, I got to do a shakedown with the upgraded capsule just to make sure that the launch escape system and everything works. So we're going to launch the Block 4 crewed variant on Monday for a shakedown mission at the beginning of the stream. And then we'll rescue the 2 Kerbals that are stranded in orbit. Bring that down, and then we're going to launch the capsule to the lander. We also got to get those temperature readings for that mission, for the contracted mission, because that'll subsidize the entire lunar mission. So, and then from there, on Monday, get her down to the surface. So that might be a little bit time consuming. So on Mondays, I will probably do Space News at 6 instead of 5. Yeah, we'll do a longer Kerbal stream on Monday. Does that imply Minmus Day? Yeah. So once again, sorry for only 2 hours of Kerbal. That's my bad. My parents showed up with food. I'm not going to not hang out with my folks, you know? So, but stay tuned. There's still plenty of stream left. We're going to do Flame Trench now, which is a informal podcast that I do with my buddies over at NASA Spaceflight. And we sit there and kind of talk about the news of the week. It should be fun. Should be fun. This week was a little spicy. So I'm going to go get ready for Flame Trench. On the YouTube side of things, I don't like to double stream Flame Trench because Flame Trench is streamed on the NASA Spaceflight channel on YouTube. So YouTube, I will see you guys later. On Twitch, just stay tuned. We should be able to pipe in the NSF feed here in a moment. So there will be a small loss of signal, and Flame Trench is scheduled to go off in about 25 minutes. So I will see you guys in a little bit. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll get a lunar landing on Monday. So I'll be back. Stand by for loss of signal as expected.